Louis, you want to go ahead and just start it now?
We are live.
Oh, we are live.
Yeah, Mike.
Ooh.
Official.
We're official, guys. Welcome to the Liftoff Challenge, everyone. My name is Luis Cruz. This is my partner in crime, my brother from the same mother, Miguel Cruz, my twin. So just wanted to start off with telling you guys, well, first of all, I appreciate you guys joining this challenge. And for those of you guys who have never done a challenge or don't know exactly what do you mean challenge? So these next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a very intense mindset and marketing training. My team and I are really dedicated to small businesses. We're really dedicated to entrepreneurs, and we have a soft spot for people who have been let down before. We have a soft spot for people who feel like giving up. We have a soft spot for people who everyone around them has told them they're not going to make it. And those are the people we are dedicated to. We've been told that we weren't going to make it a lot. We were told that we had really dumb business ideas. We were told that, that's a pyramid scheme. We were told that doesn't make sense. We were told that you don't have what it takes. Yeah, here we are.
We were told that we talk too much.
We were told we talk too much. We were told that we look alike too much. It doesn't make sense because we're twins. But the point is, guys, that we, instead of running a marketing agency, and because we're really good at marketing, my brother and I, we're creative. We are really, really good at marketing. And we could have easily taken the route of having people pay us to do their marketing. We could have easily taken the route of saying, hey, we're going to charge you $1,000 a month to do your Facebook ads. We're going to charge you $3,000 to do videography and set up your campaigns. And we could have done that and we would have made a lot of money. But we're not making an impact that way, because at the end of the day, the way we looked at it is, well, once we were done, that business owner is still in the same spot. They don't know how to market. So now they either got to pay us to do it again or find someone else to do it. And we didn't want to do that. We wanted to find a way to really make an impact in the community of entrepreneurship. So we decided to take the teaching route. So that's what this challenge is, kind of our coming out party. We have our online academy launching on July 4th.
Yep.
Vision Twins Academy for Sales and Marketing. So basically, we're launching a school where business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople can go online and learn at their own pace, and teach themselves how to become professional marketers. So that's what this challenge is about. It's a challenge. We're pushing you guys. We're guiding you guys. We're unwrapping layers. We are breaking down barriers. We are making you guys get out of your comfort zone, making you guys think outside the box, because let me explain to you guys something. With this whole COVID situation and everything that's going on in the world, there's going to be a shift of power in the business world. A lot of millionaires are not millionaires anymore. A lot of billionaires have been downgraded. Why? Because they didn't care about the people. They cared about the money, and now they're suffering. So this is a time for dreamers, for visionaries to say, you know what? Now is my time to rise. Now is my time to find a group of people to serve and make my dream into a reality. So that's what this challenge is about. Mikey, you want to introduce yourself real quick before we introduce our guest speaker?
After that long, Declaration of Independence size speech, what's up? My name is Mikey. As you guys can tell, I am my brother is all the analytics and professionalism in our company. I am the charisma, the hype man, the let's go get it done man. I am the sales guy for the company. I'm the one that goes out and connects with the people and bring them into our world of just nothing but positive energy, Christ-filled energy. If you're not into that, oh, well, I am. And I am super excited because, like my brother said, I'm not going to make it sound as profound and deep. But yes, we were told no a lot by a lot of different people. But at the end of the day, failure is all about how you take in the losses, because the loss is only a loss if you don't learn something from it. And we did learn everything from everything. So I can technically say we never lost. We just had a lot of experiences to learn how to do things the right way. And I'm super happy, Louis. Can I go ahead and present our guest speaker?
Thank you, bro.
First of all, just so you guys know, her name is pronounced Cash It, like Cash App, just like, you know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? That's positive energy just from her name, guys. I'm super excited to present her. Lewis, how did we? I know you're the one that connected with her first, right?
Yes, we're part of a podcast group.
Awesome. Well, without further ado, because I can sit here and talk all day, and it's not my day, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Cash It introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about where you're from, how you got here, what's your mission, what's your goals. Tell us about all your kids, if you have any, your puppies, your life. Tell us everything about you before we get started so we can kind of create that connection with the audience so they can see you're not just a famous person, but you're a human too.
Absolutely. So hi, everybody. I am Cache. And right now we're located in Georgia. So we are here in the middle of Georgia, hunkered down still a little bit. Even though the rest of the state is free to go, we are still chilling at home. It's me, my husband.
No, I'm just laughing. You're good.
My husband, he's in the military, and we have 3 girls. All names start with S, so we call them Triple S. I thought it was cute at the time, but it just drives me crazy now. But I fell into entrepreneurship just kind of accidentally. We would move all across the country every 2 to 3 years when I met my husband. And the first place we went to was in Montana. And in Montana, there just weren't a lot of job opportunities there. And so just to get out the house, I was working at Barnes & Noble, which is cool because I love books, but I didn't go to school to go work at Barnes & Noble. So I swear every time I turn around, if I got a job, the position would get eliminated. Or if I went to go work somewhere, they would close the office. I thought I was like the professional closer. So it just got to a point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I started exploring this idea of just small business ownership. I never wanted to do it. I was cool being a dutiful, loyal employee. I had no problem with that. But now this was an opportunity for me to create a portable career opportunity doing stuff that I love to do. So when I first went into business, I was a virtual assistant. And so I helped other small business owners with their admin needs. And then I niched down into HR virtual assistants, which was fine. But after 2 years, I was starting to feel a little unfulfilled. So I took a break from entrepreneurship to kind of figure things out for myself, because if I was going to do it on my terms, I wanted to do work that was fulfilling to me. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got into coaching. And I started off as a career coach. So I did professional resume writing and career coaching, which I love to do because I really love helping people be their best so they can do their best. And I worked with a lot of people that were feeling unfulfilled. But I found out over time that it wasn't really about the career coaching. It was about just kind of a restlessness. It was more so about mindset stuff. And then I also started working with entrepreneurs. I was a director of business development for a 5-star chamber. And I was also a director at a small business development center. And so I got to work with entrepreneurs from all stages, from pre-venture to startup to growth. But the one thing I was seeing with all of them is it didn't matter what we talked about in terms of the how-to or how many resources we gave to them, there was still something standing in the way between where they were and where they wanted to be. Mm. And so now at seeing that, that's what I focus on now as a business mindset coach, really helping people fill that gap, helping them to get unstuck, helping them to get out of their heads and really get into action, because it's all about what's up here. It's not that people don't have the know-how. Y'all know how to do this stuff. You can Google anything. You have so many resources, but there's still something that stops people from actually moving forward. And it's usually what's going on up here. So
now let me ask you. So just from all your years of experience in doing this, and like you said, just being able to work with business owners, not just entrepreneurs, business owners, entrepreneurs at different stages, it's kind of hard, I know, to develop a method when maybe you started with someone who was already in the developed phase.
Definitely.
You got to backtrack and now try to work with someone who don't even know where to start when you were just working with someone who already did know how to start. Now you got to read your mind okay, well now how do I add value to it? Because I know how to get them value to at that point, but they're not at that point yet. So what would you say is the first thing, no matter what stage you're in, what would you say is the number one thing that is holding business owners or maybe potential business owners or an entrepreneur that maybe is blocking themselves, right? Because at the end of the day, entrepreneur is not a career, it's a mindset, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're locking yourself up here, you're just holding your potential. So what would be the number one thing that you would say that you've seen with the people you've worked that literally holds them back from taking that first step?
Oh goodness, there are a few general things that tend to be issues. For one thing, sometimes it is a lack of or perceived lack of know-how. They may feel that they don't have the capacity to do one thing in their business, and that kind of holds them back from moving forward. Instead of trying to potentially outsource that perceived weakness or area of improvement, right? Because you're not meant to do everything in your business. And even if you're a startup where you can't necessarily afford to bring on a team member or something to that effect, you can get really creative about finding somebody that might be able to accentuate that area of weakness. They can, so you could look at your local colleges and universities, community colleges, and find an intern, because they're always looking for resume-worthy material. Right. And so if you give them a project, so for instance, if I'm somebody that I need somebody to handle social media for me, I can connect with a school of business, their marketing department, or their school of business students, and see if there's somebody that might want to take on for the semester a particular social media project I might have. So they can manage my social media for me, or they can create the templates for me to put out there so I can schedule it, whatever that case might be. But you're giving them quality resume-worthy material, and you're also getting somebody to do something that you don't need to do. Because the one thing that does tend to happen, because when you're first in business, of course, you're working a lot in your business. But eventually, the goal is for you to not work so much in your business, but to work on your business so you can grow it to whatever that looks like for you. Because that's another thing. If you're in another stage of business, so say you're not a startup and you've been in business about 2 years or so, and you're thinking about growth. One thing that holds people back from growth is they don't even know what growth looks like for them. Growth doesn't look the same for everybody. You can be somebody that is okay with just being a business in one. There's nothing wrong with that. People feel like they have to bring on team members or they have to add to their services or products. If what you have is working for you, then do you, boo? That's what you have to make the business work for you. There's a book called, I believe, A Business of One, and I cannot think of the author. It just came out last year, that he talks about that. He strategically created a business where it's just him. And when he needs other people, he just outsources. So he contracts 1099ers or independent contractors to do other parts of the business. And I believe he has a graphic design business, but at the core, it's just a business of one. And he's very clear on that's what he wants it to be. Right. But growth could be, if you have a business, it could be mergers and acquisitions. It could be adding a new product line. It could be adding a new type of customer, or pursuing a new type of a target audience. But you have to be very clear about what growth looks like for you and what your best path is to pursue that. So those are just some of the examples of, and just at different stages, what the issues could be, but there's a lot of them.
So now, like, I love that. And the thing that stuck out to most is what growth looks like. It's very easy for entrepreneurs in today's society to measure themselves to society standards, to what they see on Facebook. And I have a pet peeve. You see all these like teenagers like renting Lamborghinis, and they have the whole imposter syndrome where like they go buy my course and they like, you barely just graduated high school. What do you know about life? And since it flashes so much, it's really, and like I said, it's a mental game where we fall into a trap. We don't define what success looks like. We don't define what growth looks like. We let everyone else define it, and then we burn ourselves out trying to keep up with their standards instead of establishing our own. So for people, and this is a question just across the board, whether it's startup, whether you work for a company in sales or you work for a company in marketing, or you're trying to scale your growth, like what's the importance mentally, the psychology aspect of it, of being clear and writing down your goals, having a strategy, having timelines, setting SMART goals.
So I love the fact that you bring up the fact that, we are always oftentimes, not everybody, but often we're comparing ourselves to these people that we see on social media. We're comparing where we are to their highlight reels, but we have no clue what it took for them to get there, if they're actually even at that point. People have very carefully curated images and pictures that they put on social media. And sometimes, it's very accurate, and other times it isn't. But even in the cases where it's accurate, we don't know what it took to get to that point. We think that people are these overnight successes, and that's not necessarily the case. They're a 20-year overnight success that we just don't know about the 20 years that it took to get there. So the one thing, as far as actually writing your goals down, some people don't really see why you should do a business plan. I think even if you're not seeking to get some kind of funding, that you should write at least a mini business plan for yourself. Just a few pages to give yourself some direction and force yourself to answer the hard questions about your business. Figure out what is my actual business model. Am I using a freemium model? Am I using, is it a retail model? Is that how is this business going to be set up? How am I bringing in revenue to this business? And then once you have that figured out, also the business plan to support that. So, who are your target clients? What does your marketing look like? What do your operations look like? What type of business entity will you have? All this information so that you know it ahead of time, and then creating those goals and objectives and all those things so that you can keep yourself on task, because people think that writing a business plan is kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing. And it's not. You need to revisit it at the very least once a year, but I say even more than that, at least quarterly, just to make sure that you're keeping up with those goals, seeing if you're meeting the goals, if you're not, why, if you've met the goal, just giving you a chance to figure out, okay, we did this amazingly well, we should continue doing this, or do we need to shift or pivot and do something different? But it helps you to remain accountable. And if you have team members, it helps all of you to be on the same page and, pursue the same mission, pursue the same vision, and adhere to the same value for the business. So everybody's on the same page.
And I like that because like you said, and I try not to use the word everyone or all too, because some people might get offended. Well, not me. Like, all right. But at the end of the day, comparing your success or self-comparison to other people's successes, it's a thief of joy. I mean,
absolutely.
You can be at a point where, like, for example, I'll be real. This is me and my brother's first challenge. And when the second I saw that we reached 50 people, even though not 50 people are watching right now, but we get people have lives, and that's why we have replays, right? So the second I saw 50 people in the group, for me, I was so hyped. I was like, yes, God, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. But then if I go to like Russell Brunson's and the Tony Robbins and the this and the that, and they got 22,000 people joining their challenges, it's so easy for me, like, well, he got it. I don't got it. I don't got time for this.
Besides millions.
Besides millions and stacks on stacks. So, what would you say to a business owner? Because let's be real, unless you're just that creative where you're solving a solution that no one has ever even thought about solving before. Mm-hmm. A lot of businesses, when you go to start it, you're already entering a market that's saturated. You have a lot of competition. So easy to start. You're setting yourself up for failure before you even start, because you're already saying, like, how am I going to compete? Don't worry about competing. Focus on what's going to make you stand out.
Focus on serving.
Right. So what would you say to maybe a business owner or an entrepreneur in the making, or a possible business owner who's thinking about starting one, but maybe they're scared because they're thinking, well, look at the amount of people who already have my whole Facebook timeline is promoting services I'm trying to get into, maybe I can do it. So what would you say to that person?
I definitely will start off by saying, run your race. It's not about you trying to compete with this person or that person. Run your race. This business is about what you plan to make of it. I'll use myself as an example. So I just launched my podcast last week. Right. It's called All Things Unlearned. So I talk about the topic of unlearning, the things that we need to unlearn to become the people that we want to be. And I'm not the first person that has talked about unlearning at all. And when I was thinking about this, it was an idea in my head. One of my favorite podcasts called Jesus and Jollof. I just happened to be listening to their season 3 trailer. It came out and usually I get their stuff right like this, but I didn't hear it for like a month and a half. And then it came out and I heard their topic for the season was the unlearning. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, okay, it felt like confirmation that I was on the right track for my podcast.
Right.
But then that imposter syndrome came out.
Yep.
It was just like, oh, shoot, they're already talking about this. They have a bigger audience than you do. People aren't going to want to hear this. They're going to think that you copied them.
Yeah. And
so it was all these stories that I was telling myself about this situation started coming up. And so I have my alter ego. Her name is Shay Shay. So I had to tell Shay I had to tell Shay Shay to sit down somewhere.
Sit down, Shay Shay. Go somewhere with that.
But I had to have a serious conversation with self because it's just like, okay, that was not the case. And they're not the only ones that are talking about this. There are other podcasts that specifically talk about unlearning. So are you not going to get out there and put your message out there the way you want to deliver it because other people are talking about it? No, it makes you think about that analogy of when you go to the grocery store and you go down the bread aisle, you see how many different types of bread there are?
Yep.
By different companies. That didn't stop them from putting out their bread. So why should it stop you from putting out whatever it is that you feel that you were supposed to put out in the world? And I knew I was supposed to put this podcast out, and so I did. So
yeah, I like that. And I like that analogy about the grocery store, because let's be real. You go to the grocery store, there's 87 brands of bread. Exactly. I go to the one with the lowest number under the slide. I don't care what the brand is. Whichever one's the cheapest one, but that's just me. And that's the number one thing people got to understand is not everyone is your target audience.
Absolutely not.
So when you got that company who makes that high-end like bread that has the name on the bread I don't even know how to pronounce. I mean, that's one you eat with wine and cheese that I don't got in my fridge. I'm not buying that. I'm not their target market, but they're okay with that. They ain't worried about Miguel Cruz walking into Publix aisle 1 and going for the 99-cent Wonder Bread because I'm not their target audience. I'm not holding back their vision because they know you're going to have that next person who probably makes 5 times what I made. Like, I only eat that bread. So it's like you're like you said, you're creating stories. You're literally setting your own barriers to your own success. And then you want to blame it on an oversaturated market. You want to blame it on, well, people are holding me back. You want to blame it on, well, their economy's down. You want to blame it on, no, you're holding yourself back. Yeah. Go get your Wonder Bread. Let them get the French bread. And just stay, you got your race. So
let me add to that. So this is for you guys. Like I said in the beginning, we're working with entrepreneurs. We're working with you guys because we want to see you guys succeed in your business ventures. When you start your business and Cachet, we'll go bougie because I like RJ too. So when you mentioned earlier, you were talking about why we do things. That's actually going to be the topic for tomorrow is why are you in business? Because that's one thing that, we're doing a week of mindset training because there's, like you said, there's a lot of imposters. There's a lot of people that are just like, oh, buy my Facebook ads course and you'll be rich. If you run Facebook ads, you're going to get like, yes, marketing is very important, and we're going to be doing Facebook ads, and we're going to be doing all that next week. But the reason why we're doing a week of mindset is because if you don't even believe in what you're doing, how do you expect someone else to believe in you?
Exactly.
A perfect example is, you have these companies that have their brands, and people are buying, let's say, iPhone. Like, and then you have this whole war of like Android people versus iPhone people, and you literally, when you're thinking of iPhone people, you literally start thinking in your head the characteristics of a person who has an iPhone. iPhone people are this, iPhone people, and if you think about that, Apple has developed a brand image so strong that now when people buy the phone, they're not buying the phone. They're buying just because, like, they're buying the phone because they believe in what Apple believes. So by having an iPhone, they want to tell the community, by me having this phone is representing that I have the same belief as Apple, and that's why I buy their product.
Absolutely.
So when you're starting your business venture, first you need to be real with yourself. Is what's your purpose? Why are you starting the business? What are you trying to accomplish, and who are you trying to serve? Because so many people, like my brother said, target audience, we get so caught up in trying to serve everyone. And it's like very popular weight loss products, and like, oh, everybody needs my product, and then we go call my friends and family, and like, everybody needs this, everybody needs credit repair, everybody needs, I'm like, and credit repair is like a fun one for me, because they'll tell me, oh, everybody needs credit. I was like, well, I got a house, I got 2 cars, I don't need my credit. I have good credit, but even if I didn't, I don't need it, because like, I got everything I need. I'm not using my credit to buy anything soon, so I don't need credit repair. So, it's all about finding a group of people that is underserved. And this is going to transition to the next question. The highest paid individuals on this planet are superheroes. What does it take for you to be a superhero? Superheroes are people who like, they just find ways to serve the community. When you hear, oh, they're my hero because they donated X amount of money to charity. They're my hero because they went to missions in Africa. They're my hero because we fed the hungry and the homeless. Why? Because those are the kind of people we call heroes, because they serve. So with your business, you have to determine what is the group of people that you are going to serve. And I want you to talk about the psychology of this, of before you enter business, there needs to be a separation of ego and the purpose of your business.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Because ego will get you every time. Because when you go into business, like you said, the goal, I hope, for all of your businesses is really to serve. Being very clear about what your zone of genius is, that thing that you do that only you can do it, like, and that's going to contribute to what your value proposition is. What makes you so different from everybody else doing the same thing? Because again, there's nothing new under the sun. So if you're like me, I'm a business mindset coach. There's a ton of them out there. What makes me so different from the next person? So you need to be clear about that, so you can convey that to those people when they come to your website or come to your material or come across any of your information. It needs to be crystal clear that, yes, this person can potentially help me, or no, this person probably isn't a good fit for me. And that's okay, because again, you don't want to serve everybody. And that's where the ego comes in, because you may feel a way if people say no to you. Sometimes that no is a blessing to you. It's not always a curse. It's not always a bad thing. In some instances, it could be a matter of, just poor messaging, and you might need to shift some things. But your goal is to get your messaging so great that people will self-select once they've already seen your messaging and know that, okay, yes, I need to pursue this, or no, probably not a good fit for me, but I know somebody else this could be a good fit for. You don't want to serve everybody because I promise you, all money ain't good money. Some people the people that you take, because I know in the beginning of my business years ago, I was just in place and space where I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to meet everybody's needs. I'm gonna do work that I don't even really do, but I just need to get this client. I'm going to bend and flex to these client needs. And it'll be the clients that you try your hardest to do the best for, or the ones that ask for discounted work, that will give you the absolute most grief. And I have had that experience. I've had to fire clients because they would take advantage of the situation. They would take my kindness for weakness. And so you need to be very clear about your boundaries in business. I cannot stress that enough. You have to have boundaries in your entrepreneurial life, whether that's on your time, the way they communicate with you, the things that you're willing to do and you're not willing to do. You know, you need to be very clear about your services, that they fit within this certain purview. If they don't fit within the things that you offer, refer them to somebody else, because you will waste your time spinning your wheels trying to accommodate everybody. Don't let your ego get in the way and have you doing work that you're not meant to do, that you're not cut out to do, that you don't want to do, because you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get tired. You're going to get burned out, and it's going to affect you and your business.
And I'll tell you, one of my favorite quotes, and I just had to Google it, not because I didn't remember the quote, I just forgot who said it. But one of my favorite quotes.
Then it ain't your favorite quote, boy. Get out of here.
No, the quote. Man, how many times people be dropping out a Bible? What the Bible says, and where is that? I don't remember, but I know it's in there. Get out of here. So one of my favorite quotes is, "It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." And let me tell you guys,
wow.
Outside of the Bible thumping, and again, if you don't like it, then maybe this is not your group, and maybe I don't want to work you like she said, because I'm a pastor's son, so that's just how my mind works. But outside of the scripture, outside of the motivational cookie quotes, this is what I was saying. And we're going if you want to talk business, let's talk business. When you are trying to please every customer that comes your way, which is, again, business failure 101, you start putting yourself in a position. Well, like she said, maybe you start doing things that you normally don't do. Maybe you start acting a certain way just to please that one customer because they got a bigger checkbook, when you know it goes against what you're trying to do. The original vision that you started off this venture with. What happens when you're trying to connect with an audience and you can't even stay connected with yourself? If at the end of the day, the message that you started your business with is what you're trying to base it on to grab the attention of your potential clients. If a client comes to you and say, "Why are you in business?" "I don't even know anymore. I just want money." Well, I don't want to work with you, because if you're just money hungry, maybe I feel that you're not going to invest in my dream to actually help me, but it's just you're trying to get paid. And there's already enough of that out there in this world. So when you yourself are lost in your own self-image and you don't even know what that image is, it's like trying to put together a puzzle without looking at the box.
Absolutely.
Like buying a puzzle, toss out the box. I'm just going to try to figure it. I'm just going to put it together. Unless you are a savant of puzzles, good for you. But guess what? Life, people think that they got to put the pieces of life together without the box. For those of you guys who believe, who don't, again, you're going to hear me reference this a lot. And if you feel offended, then, I'm sorry. It's just who I am. But I'm the kind of person where I believe, number one, I don't have to figure this out on your own. If you don't believe in God, fine. But you got family. You got your wife. You got your spouse, your husband. You have your kids. You have your friend. Whoever it is. People think that they got to go through life trying to figure it out on your own when you do not have to. We're not made to figure things out on our own, because if that was the case, we'd all be rich. Shoot, I wouldn't be teaching this work. Like, I'd be on my yacht somewhere in like Tahiti or something. But let's be real. That's not how life always works. It has to be a starting point. So I can, if there's one thing I will say, just exactly what she said, always stay true to your message. Always stay true to your vision. I've cut ties with people simply because I don't like the words they use when they talk. I try not to curse. I barely do. And when I'm talking to someone and that's all they do, I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to. And it's nothing against you, because I will never. Y'all, I'm telling you right now.
From Miami. Let's just let them know where we from.
Listen, I'm from Miami. Okay, so it's a different crowd down there. But and I've heard the heated discussions from the elders in my church. you're too loose up here. You're open to everything. It's not that I just don't judge people, because I've been in certain spots, even in my life, where I was doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. It happens. And if you guys are asking, what does this have to do with business? It has everything to do with business, because if you don't have your things at home in place, if you don't have your marriage in place, if you don't have your financial in place, if you're more focused on spending money on business and not paying your rent or putting food on the table, you're out of order. It all comes down to priorities and responsibilities. Before me and my brother started spending, and I don't like to use the word spending, investing the money we did to get the materials we did, to get the content we did, to learn from the people we did, he would call me, Mike, how much you got in your savings? Mike, I'm good for this month. My bills are paid. Are you good? Do you need me to we would always make sure everything was in order with him and his wife, me and my wife, before we did any decisions.
Smart.
If y'all are married, y'all know.
Yep.
I invested in a comfy couch for that reason. I said, I might need this every now and then, so I'm going to make sure I spend money on a nice, comfy couch. Make sure I'm setting myself for success. But just
that, and real quick before we ask the next question, when we're talking about who we're doing business with, we're talking about not doing things our own. You guys need and the thing is, like I said, I really want you guys to understand that there needs to be a separation of ego, and y'all need to be unselfish with your business. When you guys are making decisions, stop thinking that it's for your benefit. Because if you're not doing business to serve others and you're just worrying about how is this going to affect me, then you can look right into my eyes right now as I tell you this, you're not meant to be an entrepreneur. If you're just thinking about how much money is this going to make me instead of how big of an impact am I going to make, you're not an entrepreneur. You're not. And the challenge, we're like I said, we're from Miami. We're cutthroat, and I say things how it is because I want to help you guys make a change. Because we care is the reason why we talk this way. But when it comes to building a team, if you do decide to go that route, and like Mikey said, you're not meant to figure it out on your own. So if you do want to start bringing in a circle, if you want to start bringing in a squad of people, make sure that they have the same image as you, because anybody that you associate to your business is now a part of your brand. That's why when my brother and I, when we interview vendors, because it's like you said, I don't know anything about graphic design, but I know graphic designers, and I can say, hey, I know a guy. Hey, you need a videographer? I know a guy. You need a photographer? I know the guy. You need a website? I know a guy. And I don't have to do the work. But we, of course, there's partnerships and we still benefit from it. But when we interview people, you can be the best you could be graphic designing for Donald Trump. If you don't have the same mission, vision, and values as me, I don't want to work with you. So make sure, and it's with everything that's going on now, you guys need to put on your big boy and big girl pants and say, you know what? Like, I care about my future clients enough to cut ties. I care about my future clients enough to not work with this person, to not worry about me, and to focus on what's going to be best for the future people. Now, I was reading your description, and I was doing a little bit of research when you sent me over that information, and you talked about the barriers, the mindset of who people are now and who they want to be. So we've established already that there needs to be steps that are taking towards beginning the entrepreneur journey. Mm-hmm. But what are, in your experience with your clients, what is the most common factor, or what are some of those common excuses that people tell you, I can't do it because, and what's your response to those objections?
Well, one of the ones for sure is, again, that lack of know-how, but we talked about that a little bit earlier, where there's so many resources for you to find information on how to sharpen skills or your abilities to do something or to outsource it. So that's one of them, but we already chatted about that. Sometimes they talk about, oftentimes, usually the number one thing they talk about is the money factor. And that's because typically a lot of business owners come in with this whole, idea that they have to have brand new everything. They got to go buy this, they got to buy that. I have to go rent out this office space. And it's just like, whoa, pump your brakes. You have to think about starting small, bootstrapping at first, depending on the type of business you have. Say, for instance, if you did need equipment for your office, you could potentially lease equipment instead of actually owning it and buying it for at least a little while. If you do need office space, and to some degree, if you don't need it all the time, you might look at co-working spaces to utilize their, rent their conference rooms, or to rent an office for the day. It's called a hot desk at some places, and just utilize those services. My business is home based, but if I ever need to meet with somebody or need to go out and teach a class or host a class, I can go to a co-working space, rent their conference room, rent their training rooms, do my thing there, but not have to think about the overhead of renting somewhere on the monthly basis that I don't necessarily need. So there are so many creative ways to actually make it happen. When I was working with one entrepreneur a few years ago, she had a shaved ice truck and she needed a new ice shaving machine, but she was trying to figure out what was the best way for her to get that. She found a really good option in financing the machine through the actual vendor that provided it. That turned out to be a better option for her than for her to get financing elsewhere. So you just have to utilize your resources, have conversations, ask questions. We don't want a lack of information to prevent you from making informed decisions. Also, as far as other excuses go, it's money, lack of know-how. Sometimes people are just lazy.
Speak how it is. Speak how
the way to put it. But entrepreneurship is a grind, and people don't necessarily like that word, but you will work harder owning your own business than you will for anybody else. People typically think like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have this, I'm going to work 4 hours a week and that's it. And blah, blah, blah. No. You are always on when it comes to entrepreneurship. So you have to be mentally prepared for that. Yes, you may have flexibility in your schedule, which is one of the reasons I love it, because I am a mother of 3 kids, but I'm always thinking about this thing. I'm responsible for everything in this business because I am a business of one by choice. I have been very strategic about the fact that I like the way I do this business one. And when, like, for instance, I'm currently working on a virtual strategic planning project with a nonprofit. And so I needed somebody to come in to do the financial review component. I know somebody that's amazing in that area. So I'm subcontracting that part out to her. So she's going to work with me on the project for that. And then that's it. And no harm, no foul. That's not my area of expertise. I know a little bit about the business finance stuff, but she knows a ton about it. So I outsource that area to somebody else that I know knows how to do it. But yes, you have to be committed to it. That there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That commitment factor is going to basically make or break your business. It's going to be the difference between whether you succeed or fail in business. And some people are not as committed as they need to be. You have to work in this business even when you don't feel like it. It's not about the, how you feel. It's whether or not you want this thing to succeed or not. So.
And what about the people who think they don't have a good enough idea? I have a friend of mine and he's in the group. He's not on live now, but he'll probably watch a replay, but he's a chef, and that's one thing. My brother and I come from the food and beverage industry, and catering is a very saturated market. Yeah. But what happens when you have zero money, when you're living in that apartment and you have no money in your account and nothing around you in life even insinuates that you're going to even smell what success is? What is your message to those people who they have that dream, they have that vision, but they feel like because they don't have any monetary resources whatsoever, they give up before they start?
So first and foremost, get out of your head.
Exactly.
You have got to get out of your head. Go talk to people. So there's this book it's a very thin book called Talking to Humans. by a man named Giff Constable. The actual book version of it is like $12 on Amazon. If you go to talkingtohumans.com, they have a free PDF version of it. And the Kindle version, I think, is always 99 cents. It's a quick, easy read, less than 100 pages. My daughter, when she was 11, she read the book because she was talking about going into business. And so I was like, here you go. Because I tell her, like I tell the people I work with, like, okay, you need to go talk to your ideal customer. You need to hear directly from those people. Don't go to your friends. Don't go to your family members because they're going to tell you what you want to hear. But have a conversation with the person that you think would be the ideal target client for you in whatever that service is or that product is, and let them talk. Have a conversation with them. Don't ask a whole bunch of yes or no questions. Get them to talk. Tell me about a time when blah, 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 blah. That's what kind of formulated my business with this business mindset thing.
I love that.
Because I was talking to other entrepreneurs about when I was helping them. The one thing I kept hearing from them is like, oh my gosh, it was just so nice to have this safe space to vent, to talk this through. And it kept coming up over and over and over again. They were giving me the language for me to be able to use in my own marketing. And when you do this customer discovery interview, because that's what they talk about in Talking to Humans, you get that same valuable information. You get it the way they would say it as opposed to what you think they would say. It's not about what we think they would say, because sometimes as the experts, we're too close to it. And so we might use language that these people might not even use. They're like, oh, okay, well, why would I say it that way? And so they give you the information you need to establish your messaging, to put together your products and services. And as you're talking to them, they tell you about the pain points. Don't tell them anything about what you're trying to do. Don't sway the conversation. Just let them talk. Typically, in Talking to Humans, they want you to talk to 100 people. Most entrepreneurs don't want to talk to anybody. We think we know it all. We think we know it all and don't know nothing. And I challenge you, all of you out there, at least talk to 10 people, and just get them talking about what a problem related to what it is that the thing you're trying to fix, the pain that you have the pill for, or the pleasure that you're trying to enhance. Whatever that is, talk to them and let them tell you, so you can either pivot, shift, or change up your offering if you need to do so based on what you learn from them.
And I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys remember. First of all, I love obstacles because at the end of the day, all it does is it makes you step up your game. Lazy people will sit here and make excuses and, oh, I didn't make it because of this. No, you didn't make it because of this. Maybe that was supposed to get you to the next level of your business, but you didn't take the opportunity. Now you're back to where you started and you're blaming it on the economy. It has nothing to do with the economy. It's about you. I don't remember you guys, a few years ago, there was a commercial that always came around the holidays for iPhone, right? Where it was a kid, it was like a snowy family reunion, and you see the kid, the whole commercial, he was on his phone, and all the family was looking at him and like, why is he on his phone? Why is he on his phone? And all the way like towards the end of the commercial, he plugs in the phone to the TV, and turns out he was recording memories of all the things that the family was doing. But I'm getting goosebumps just remembering that commercial. Not one time in that commercial did they mention what apps it has, how many gigs the phone has, how many camera notes the phone has, how many gadgets and the fingerprint scanner and this. Did not mention a single thing about the phone. When I saw this commercial, I remember I was like, I was about to cry, bro. I was like, golly. I don't even like Apple. And I was like, babe, how much is Google? How much an iPhone costs? Like, it invokes that kind of emotion. So then, now that me and my brother have started this, this teaching venture, a few weeks ago, I decided to do a little bit more research on that ad campaign, and turns out that I forgot. Again, even Apple outsources. They outsource to like a marketing team, and they went out And they essentially started just asking Apple users, what do you use your iPhone mostly for? And surprisingly enough, in the age of social media, it's pictures.
Yep.
Or taking videos.
Memories.
Uploading it to Snapchat, uploading it to Facebook. So when you have, for example, at that time, I don't remember, maybe it was a Galaxy S4. I don't know. This was years ago. And you're comparing two phones, which realistically, the iPhones and now like the Note 10s and stuff like that, they do a lot of almost everything the same. It just comes down to who you're loyal to. Is it Apple or you have your Android and that's it. There's no question on it. But when it came down to it, they didn't care about the specs. They just said, we're going to connect to the people based off the information which is found, which is creating an emotional connection. And I can tell you, before you try to make an emotional connection to your ideal customer, because you nailed it right on the point. Me and my brother,
that's what Wednesday is going to be about. Wednesday is going to be about the the 8 desires that are hardwired into every human being and how to tap into that desire to create a connection.
Right. So me and my brother teach that all the time. It says, before you figure out your thing, before you figure out how much you want to spend, find out who your ideal customer is. And only because if you're going to end up blowing so much money, try to do paid advertising and traffic advertising to try to get everyone to look at it, instead of just finding out who that one person you're supposed to talk to is. But before you can make that emotional connection, it all comes back to the beginning. Know where you stand. You cannot make an emotional connection with a target audience if you don't even know where you stand yourself. If you mentally you're prepared, like you said, because it's a grind. People call me and my brother crazy because me and my brother work for an insurance company. I'm not going to mention the name. But if people were to know, and me and my brother literally work at the same job, they look at our salary and they're like, why are you guys looking for more money? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Most people look at your paycheck and be like, I'm good. But it's not about that for me. It's not about that for my brother. We both look at it and like, you know what? Money comes and goes. I'll go cut grass. I don't care what it is. That's a Hispanic thing. We're hardworking for the most part, because there are some lazy ones out there and I can't stand them. But for the most part, it's a character trait. So it's not even about the money for me. It gets down to, when I leave this earth, am I only leaving a lump of money behind, or am I leaving a legacy? Am I leaving something where when my kids are left behind, they're like, I want to follow in my dad's footsteps, not just his checkbook. I want to impact the amount of lives that my dad did, not just have the same amount of money he did. I don't want to only have this. I don't want to only have that. And that'll be another aspect in one of our trainings, which is connecting to your why. You need to know why you're in business.
That's going to be tomorrow.
That's tomorrow? All right, my bad. See, this is why he's the organizer. I'm just all over the place. But
to add on to what you said, and you were talking about talking to humans. Now, I already know, and like I said, one thing one of my specialties is objections. I can anticipate what people are going to tell me. I can already hear that people are going to say, I don't know 100 people who would be my ideal customer. Where do I find my ideal customer? I don't have time to drive around looking for my ideal customer to find these people to talk to. There's something powerful called the internet, and this is just a creative way for you guys. The power of surveys, okay? There are 1 million free websites that you can design a survey, an online survey that you can blast out via email, via direct message, via text. You can send links to text. Design a survey with questions and tailor the questions to where, okay, this is my ideal customer, and my ideal customer is going to answer the question this way, this way, this way, and this way. These are the response. Like, write down a list of questions and write down what responses that, like, my ideal customer will respond this way, and just send out surveys. Because guess what? Now you have your market research without, I mean, like I said, there might be people that are not people person and they feel like I can't talk to people. I will tell you this, part of this training is we're going to be teaching you guys, like, every single day, you guys are going to have to go Facebook Live in this group. We're doing some prizes at the end of the challenge, and if you don't go Facebook Live every single day and do the homework, you don't qualify for the giveaways at the end, because we want, and that's why it's also a private Facebook group. No one else can see what's in here. This group is only for this group, and it's not visible to Facebook, so no one can see. So this is gonna be a place for you to break that. But like, you have to be creative. If you're not comfortable talking face to face,
exactly,
do a survey. Or Facebook, you can make a post and it says a poll. Do a Facebook poll and just blast it out to your Facebook friends list and be like, hey, I just wanted to get some data, get some research, answer this survey for me. So, you guys, we want you guys to start thinking outside of the box. That's my brother's specialty. I'm 100% about organization, analytics, and when we were doing marketing for clients, I was really not in the front. I was in the back doing the Facebook ads and setting up the and doing the analytical research and all that. My brother, so we balance, and that's talking about the circle. You find people to compliment you, but
exactly.
So we were born in a circle. We were born in the same belly, 2 minutes apart.
Exactly. So for the people who are watching live and the ones who are going to catch the replay, well, we want you to understand that it's you have to be real with yourself. And now this is going to be kind of like the closing comments. You have to be real with yourself. You have to give yourself a shot. Stop shooting, stop quitting before you start. There's people who say that I failed, and no one told them they failed. No one told them no. No one told them to quit. They are doubting themselves, and it was not even an objection. So there's people they don't present an offer, or they start doubting themselves before their prospective client even gave them an objection, because they have that mindset of they're not good enough. You are good enough. Your business idea is good enough. Your market, your niche, your passion is good enough. You just have to believe it. And we're going to be pushing you guys. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about why. And we're going to be doing an exercise. And so far, my brother and I have a perfect streak that every single time we tell someone to do this exercise on a live, they end up in tears. It's going to be a very emotional exercise.
It's deep.
It's deep. It's very deep. You're going to have to be real with yourself. We're going to be tearing off some scabs, and you might cry, but these are things that you guys have to
be vulnerable and drop the ego. Be vulnerable and drop the ego. Yep. You got to be real with yourself. I'm sure, Cachet, I'm sure you've worked with people where you've had to tell them, listen, I can help you, but I'm gonna need you to just stop playing games, because
myself included.
Because people want real results with fake work. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. So closing comments, because all my comments are, I'm like the preacher that says, and with this I finish, and then they preach for another 30 minutes. So I say, what is the last? We're talking about, we're at the drive-through at McDonald's right now. You get a 1-piece chicken nugget meal. What is that nugget? What is the one thing you want to leave for the first video? What is that? Just
drop it.
Just drop it. Make them want to Google it. Make them want to Google it.
Point blank, do it scared. Whatever it is, because a lot of people say that they're not necessarily scared, but fear shows up in very different ways for people. It can show up as procrastination. It can show up as doubt. It could show up as a whole number of things. But if you have this idea, do it, or at least try. Put the effort out there. Have the conversations. Look at your resources. Talk to people. Understand the feasibility of this idea. Sometimes it just might not be the idea for you to execute on right this moment, but that does not equate to failure. That is just, again, as they were saying earlier tonight, it's a learning lesson. Fail forward. So take the information, learn what you need to learn, and keep it moving. If you feel passionate about this business idea, then you need to commit. Point blank, just commit to it. And if it feels as if you are coming up with all these excuses, again, get rid of the excuses and just move forward with that idea. Point blank.
Just like that. Just like that.
Just
Love
like
it.
that.
Love it. And guys, like I said, me and my brother, you hear the way we're talking, and This is not something that we're gonna end this call and be like, oh, I wonder if people liked it, or I hope people enjoy. Like, we did have moments like that. We did. Me and my brother, we're not gonna sit here and act like we did it all, we know it all, and that we're successful. And guys, it's not about that. But one thing I can say is that me and my brother have gotten more no's than I don't even know what. We have tried every market, every business model, MLM, direct distributing, just any kind of business you can think of. We tried it, and it didn't work out. And we could have just stopped. But I'm the kind of person where I feel like, sometimes, and going, oh my God, I'm about to start preaching again. Cache, one thing I love that you said is people think that if something doesn't work, that it wasn't meant to be. But I will tell you this, guys, sometimes it's the right blessing or the right idea or the right business model at the wrong time.
Exactly.
Because we want to rush things on our time, we end up losing out on that $1 million business because we wanted it done our way at that time. And guess what's going to happen? A year, it can be years later that
someone else is going to get that idea and be rich.
Exactly. It's going to be years later, or even crazy. It's like those pictures you see where you see the guy digging underground and he's like that close to that gold, and then he just stops and walks away. Like sometimes it might not, it can be a week later. You don't even know. Like, guys, and I'm so passionate about this because there's so many people out there that deserve to have their dreams fulfilled, but they let themselves down. Guys, like my brother said, you deserve your dream. You deserve to have the business that you've always wanted. You deserve to have that income that you've always wanted. You deserve to have that time flexibility that you've always wanted. But at the end of the day, one thing is what you deserve, and one thing is what you're going to accomplish.
And what you work for.
And what you work for. We all deserve, and we all, blessings are earned always. Sometimes they're gifted, but you got to put yourself in a position to receive that gift. It's all about positioning yourselves to, because for those to say, sometimes you do need luck in business. Maybe you need to meet that one person or just to be there at that one right time. But if you're not positioning yourself, you never know. I'm gonna stop here, Louis, because me and my brother are both preachers. So I can sit here all day, and I'm getting better at that. I gotta control myself. So, Louis, that's my last comment. I promise. I'm gonna mute myself.
Yeah, no, we're good. And like I said, guys, we're doing this, and we're just two random twins, and you guys don't know us, and you guys are in this challenge probably like, who the heck are these guys? We're the two guys that are going to give you guys the lift off. Like, that's why we're calling this the lift off challenge. We are your launch pad. This challenge is your launch pad. If you put in the work and you follow the steps and you get out of your box, by the time these 2 weeks are done, you are going to have a solid marketing strategy. You're going to have a social media strategy. You're going to have a business plan that you can just go to Kinko's and print it out, and now you can go to anything and get
it. Kinko's anymore. Hey, talking about. Okay, man, I said I wasn't going to talk no more. You made me break my part. I'm about Kinko's. $2 a minute to use the internet. Get out of here.
Right. That's our mission. Just to finish, like, that's gonna be my last comment. Our goal, the purpose, and the promise of this challenge is by the time you're done with these 2 weeks, you're gonna have a business plan that will get a loan approved by anyone, because it's gonna be solid. There's not gonna be any holes in it. It's gonna be complete. It's gonna be thorough. So that's my last comment. And
you can afford to get your own printer. You don't got to go to Kinko's. Go get yourself a nice printer and a nice wireless Wi-Fi printer. Golly, yeah. I declare blessing. I declare abundance. I declare overflowing, cups overflowing over every single person who is watching today, who will continue watching the videos from here on out. All I do is joke, but I'm being serious right now. I declare that over every single person who will be joining this group, because I want to see people succeed. So I declare it. I believe it, but y'all got to believe it too, because if there's no belief, then it's just empty words. So I declare it. I believe it over you guys. And I'm super excited because I know you guys are going to believe in it too and get to where you want to go.
So that's it. Cache, you want to do the mic drop? Just final words to your audience.
So again, just make sure entrepreneurship can be very isolating. Utilize this network. You have people that are willing to help you. Take advantage of that. Connect with each other. Build relationships. Collaborate. So you are all in this together. Make use of that. So I can't wait to see what you all do with your businesses. And if you ever a place to think out loud, that's what I do. I have strategy sessions where I help people outline stuff. We do brainstorming sessions. We talk stuff through. You want to outline your course or outline whatever it is that you have to do, you know where to find me.
Yeah, hit her up. She good. That's how we brought her on her. She's the best of the best. So, all right, guys, that is the end of our first night. So, like I said, we know a lot of people couldn't make it live, but we have the replays. Guys, in the units, each day, there's going to be a unit for each day with assignments to do. And so tonight's assignment is to watch the video and go live in that unit and tell us what were your takeaways, and be honest with that. Tell us the one thing that you're battling mentally that's keeping you from achieving your goal. So that way, my brother and I can help you guys overcome those obstacles. So we can't help you if we don't know what it is. So like I said, this is the private Facebook group. No one else is going to see these videos. It's locked. We control the settings. No one can see inside this group if they are not in the group. So go live. Tell us what's holding you back, what takeaways you got, and be ready because tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to be talking about our why we're in business, and it's going to be a very powerful seminar tomorrow.
Louis, do you mind if I do a quick closing prayer? If y'all don't like prayer, then don't watch the end of the video.
Yeah, do it.
Do you mind? All right. Lord, we thank you for this moment. Lord, we thank you for this amazing group of people that we're going to be meeting, continuing to meet. And God, I just thank you for the vision that you have placed in me and my brother. We were made to serve, and that is where our heart is at. We want to serve. We want to invest. We want to elevate people to achieve what they want to do, Lord. And the same way me and my brother have realized that we cannot do it on our own. I just pray that you just start instilling a humble heart and a humble mind into every single entrepreneur for them to be able to position themselves to receive every seed that's about to be planted, and that their mind is fertile ground for that seed to just flourish, and their income to flourish, and their blessings to flourish, and their business to flourish. And thank you, Lord, for just giving us opportunity and the platform and the ability to be able to do this. And I pray that you just manifest yourself in this challenge, and that you take everyone to the next level. And I declare all this, Lord. I believe it. I declare it into existence. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ooh, let's go. See me out there in the streets. I'm over here praying. Let's go.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We signing off. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.